This is Bruce Bochy, and you're listening to the Ranger Report.
The Ranger Report. Yeah, the Ranger Report. If you want the inside scoop, listen to the Ranger Report. Oh, here we go.
This is the Ranger Report podcast. News, insights, predictions, interviews, and information about the Texas Rangers from the major leagues to the minor leagues. And now, here are your hosts, Ben Dieter and CJ Berryman.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Ranger Report podcast. I am Ben Dieter. You can find me on that X thing at BDieter75.
Oh, how the tides can turn in this crazy-ass game we call baseball, especially in this crazy-ass season for the Texas Rangers. I'm CJ Berryman. You can find me at CJB_RR on the X app.
Kane, go ahead and introduce yourself.
What up, y'all? It's Kane. Do I need an introduction at this point? I'm the legend of the Ranger.
Oh, good.
No, that's what I was saying. Just introduce yourself. I'm not going to introduce you anymore.
I'll just play it. Yeah, what up, y'all? It's Kane.
Stay humble, bro.
Find me on Twitter somewhere at Kane_McCutcheon6, that little Twitter thing that I don't like.
Yeah, no one does anymore. But anyway.
No.
We are brought to you on the Preferred Health Solutions online studio. We are part of the Fans First Sports Network, Dallas Sports Nation, and of course, Walton's Everything But the Meat. So guys, last time we did a show, Kane wasn't here, but last time we did a show, we were so excited. The Rangers had a 2-0 lead on the Houston Astros and we're coming back to Arlington. And CJ, that didn't go so well.
No, it did not. Now, our predictions were me and Tyler had game 6. You had game 5 with the Rangers. All three of us had the Rangers taking it.
Yep.
It looked, I just didn't see the Rangers not at least winning one game at home.
Yeah, me too.
3. I didn't see Houston, which they're extremely good on the road and terrible at home, but it just didn't work out in that game 5 the way it ended. It sums up the season. That's exactly the way the season has been. Right there, Rangers get a lead. They don't outbomb. They don't go crazy scoring runs.
They leave a ton of people on base.
Leave a ton of people on base. We'll get into that too.
Yep.
I got a lot to say. I'm sure y'all do too, but that game sums everything up. And just after the game last night, I felt like I needed to vomit. Like I seriously felt a little bit sick for about 15 minutes. And it really took me like an hour to just stop. I just didn't want to talk about it. Didn't want to think about it. And just rough. Luckily, there is a tomorrow. So we'll see. We'll have to see both games now going to H-Town.
Yeah, and Kane, that's not exactly a bad thing. They've played really well in Houston in the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, if you can pull a positive from it, it's that. You've won 2 games in Houston. I think CJ pretty much summed up where this is right now. I mean, you got gut punched. That's what it feels like. I mean, for all the fans, for really the entire Metroplex, like you can kind of feel it. I'm not exaggerating when, when things are going well, we're up 2-0. Like for me, at least, I'm at school and everyone's wearing the stuff and you're going around town and everyone's wearing the stuff. And now you're going around town and it feels like you got gut punched. And you did.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, you absolutely got ran out of your own stadium 3 times in a row. And it's unfortunate. But look, I mean, there's 26 other teams on their couch right now. And you're not one of them. So you gotta bounce back and there's nothing left. That's all there is to it at this point. You have no choice. And they're not just going to roll over and go home. I've been around this team enough this year to know that Bruce Bochy is one of the greatest managers of all time, and he's not going to bring in a team that's unprepared. So like you said, yeah, they're going to Houston. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, you just got to kind of flush it down the drain and just go.
And that's one thing that the Rangers have done all season long is put losing streaks behind them and turn right back around and start winning streaks again. Now, this has only been a 3-game losing streak, but it's not, people that are saying it's over, it's not over. The Rangers, have the capability of ripping off 6 in a row and winning the World Series right now. But they also have the capability of just, stinking the place up on Sunday or Monday and losing the series. So it could go either way. But I think game 6, obviously, I think the Rangers have a great shot with Eovaldi on the mound. But what got me in yesterday's game, just to bring it back up, because, we're not all hurting enough, is that it was Jose Altuve that did the gut punch, not like Yordan Alvarez. I would have been like, all right, that makes sense. But we let Jose Altuve again, knock in the game-winning run. And then, of course, Kane and I talked about this off air. Why didn't Semien bunt?
Yeah.
Why did Josh Smith stay at second on the fly out at the wall? I mean, there was some base running and some base and some batting decisions that I thought were very suspect in that 9th inning.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because my dad after the game was saying kind of the same thing. I didn't talk much about. I just didn't want to talk about it. But and my dad, I think, understood because I just was not. Well, I would elaborate a little bit.
I turned my phone off for an hour.
I thought about it, but I just like, nah, just whatever. And but no, I mean, I think with Semien's struggles this postseason, I mean, think about it. He had more hits than anybody during the regular season.
Yeah,
that's a guy you want up in that situation. It
Definitely.
Really is. But his postseason has just been bad. And I think it would have. I agree with y'all. They should have at least attempted a bunt until he got a strike on him.
Yeah.
After that, I mean, it's not not 2 strikes. Obviously, when he has to swing, just let him attempt a bunt. And if he screws it up or takes a strike, then go ahead and let him swing away. But I would have liked to have seen at least an attempt at a bunt to move those runners over with 1 out, and you're the middle of your order coming up behind. Look behind him. I mean, with Seager,
there were no outs at that point.
Yeah, there were 0 outs. It would have been 1 out with a bunt.
Yeah, with the bunt. You're right.
If they got the out, and then you have Seager, Evan Carter, and Adolis Garcia coming up. That
not Garcia though. It would have been Travis Jankowski.
Would have been Jankowski.
Yeah.
Oh no. That was That's right.
Yeah, he'd been ejected already.
The whole bunt thing is a hill I'm willing to die on, and people have been arguing with me on this, but. Like, take Semien out of the window, right? Okay, like, let's say, he's struggling, but that's someone you would want to have up. I don't care who it is that you would want to have up. I need those runners over so that the best hitter in baseball can come up. Okay, they're going to walk Seager, right? Let's say Semien lays down the bunt. They're going to
they're going to load the bases there.
You have the bases loaded with Evan Carter at the plate. Like, that's a better chance of tying the game than you had in the 9th inning yesterday. Like,
and with only 1 out. Yeah.
With 1 out, exactly. Like, and I mean, say whatever, like Jankowski's coming up next. Yes. But like, I mean, the bases loaded, there's instantly more pressure on a pitcher. 1 pitch gets away and that's, you're scoring run.
Well, and look at it this way too. Yeah, it's Jankowski coming up because Garcia got the ejection. And I know we'll talk about that in a minute because that was another whack ass situation. But Jankowski's a hard guy to double up.
Yeah.
So you're hoping to get just a third to first type double play. That puts a lot of pressure on the defense. The fans be going crazy. The bases are loaded. It's a completely different situation. I mean, even if they didn't walk Seager, which they would have.
Yeah, 100%.
With runners on second and third and first base open, they would have. But the pressure is on big time at that point. And when it seemed like when Semien smashed the hell out of that ball, it was just
he did. I was going to say that. Yeah,
it was just a hell of a catch, a leaping catch there at short, and that kind of sucked the life out of it a little bit, especially once Seager flew out.
I think I would just like someone to come on, comment, whatever, and tell me that you're not confident with the bases loaded and a kid at the plate who chases less than 10% of the time. Mm-hmm. Like, tell me you're not confident in that kid to hit a freaking sac fly.
Yeah, he's different.
A base hit wins the game.
He's different, and that's why Bochy, who's managed since Moby Dick was a minnow, that's why he's got him at third because the kid's different.
Yeah,
and a veteran manager who's a Hall of Famer, one of the best, has one of most
his pedigree.
Wins. He's got plenty of things behind him. He's got a rookie that's been here a little over a month, hitting third in the ALCS. That tells you all you need to know about Evan Carter. And it just that right there. And Josh Smith, think about that too. If Josh Smith, why he didn't tag up. I don't know what he
clue.
was.
No
I don't know
clue.
what he was sitting there waiting for. I don't know. I have no idea.
I mean, in the long run, it would.
And so you've got a guy on third, Ben, and that's putting more pressure on Presley. When you got the runner, the tying run on third instead of second base, because that doesn't guarantee a run. You would think it would with Josh Smith, a base hit would have scored him, but there's a chance that it wouldn't. But if he's on third, Presley, the more pressure's on Presley.
Correct.
So, sorry to interrupt you, Ben.
No, I was just going to say, I was going to say it wouldn't have mattered because Evan Carter strikes out, but if Smith was on third, that would have been a different at bat. Because like you said, it would have put more pressure on Presley. It would have made it a harder at bat. He would have had to pitch more carefully to make sure he didn't throw a wild pitch. And instead, Smith stays at second, and he easily strikes out Evan Carter, who doesn't strike out very often. But I'll tell you what, that was a nasty pitch that struck him out. I mean, Presley is good. That was a nasty pitch that got Carter.
Yeah, when he dropped that curveball and Evan Carter, if you can get Evan Carter to chase like that. And I mean, it had late break on it too. And it was real late break. And
sorry, go ahead.
That's just, that's what Presley does. That's why the Astros have been in the ALCS the last 7 years. I mean, we're looking at why. It sucks. It sucks really bad, but you give the Astros credit. You can't go through. I mean, you can say all you want about what Dusty Baker did with refusing to leave the game and icing, which if you think about it, that's smart.
Yeah.
It's smart. It sucks. And of course it's Houston doing it. Yeah. It's a cheap thing to do instead of just getting your ass out of, in the clubhouse.
Yep.
But it worked.
Yep.
I mean, certain guys just have a knack for the playoffs, like in just big moments in general. Like we see it with Adolis Garcia, It's a reason, like I said this on the last show, there's a reason every time the NBA playoffs come around, we talk about LeBron James, no matter how old he is, he just has a knack for those moments. And it's like the Astros have several guys that have a knack for those moments. They've been there. They've done that. Altuve, like Presley. I mean, I have, friends that are Astros fans that are during the regular season, they're not super high on Presley, and he comes into the playoffs and he's just bam, bam, bam. It's like certain guys just have a knack for those moments, and the Astros have been there and done that. So they've built a lot of those guys, and that's who you're facing. You're facing the defending champs.
I'm gonna add on to that, Kane, because there is one guy in their lineup, and this straight pisses me off. Martin Maldonado.
Yeah, absolutely.
Throw strikes. He
can't hit.
He's a lifetime he's just over 200. What is he here? A lifetime.
Not to mention
207 hitter.
Yeah.
I was just going to point out the fact too that in the ninth inning you also walked Jonathan Singleton, which
I was also going to bring up. Yeah,
nobody knew he was even on the damn roster. He's hitting 100. He's hitting 158. You walk him.
Yeah, that was the killer. The walk to him was the killer.
But Maldonado, the hits that he's gotten and the walks that he's gotten have all been in big situations.
Yeah.
He really hasn't done much during the early and mid parts of the game. Yeah. But at the end of the game, for whatever reason, the Rangers walk him or surrender a hit. Or, I mean, if he gets a hit early in the game, it's usually with runners in scoring position.
Yep.
The Rangers aren't doing that. They're just slugging their way. And I understand, yes, we've scored the most runs during the regular season than anybody else. But it was a lot of mash. The Rangers go up there and they get those runs with runners get on base. They're still swinging for the fences. A lot of times they've succeeded, and you have blowout situations.
Yeah,
this was an opportunity right there to play old school ball. When was the last time you saw two runners on base, or at least a runner in scoring position, and the Rangers just slap a single and score the run? It's been a while. I can't remember the last time that's happened.
Yeah, I think one thing too, it kind of goes back to, I always tell people, it's like, it's not always about the amount of big hits that you get, but it's when you get them. And there's several points where I even thought in game 4, when Seager hit the line drive that ended up being the double play, like if you could have got a big hit right there, you could have climbed back into that game. Not to mention, yesterday you had first and second on and nobody out in the 8th inning and you didn't score.
Yep.
You couldn't get a big hit in the 9th inning. It's like, Seager hit a home run, it was a solo shot, and Daniel Lowe hit a home run, it was a solo home run. Like it's when you get the big hit, and that sucks. And it's like, that's the way baseball go. Like some of it's luck. Like, it's you got to get the big hit when you need it, and they just haven't been able to do that so far.
Yeah.
Before we talk about the fight, I just wanted to say what you said is that well, just like in game 2, they gave up 2 home runs to Alvarez, but they were solo shots and they still won the game. It's when you give up the hits and who's on base when you give up the hits. And walks have been killer. But I just want to say, it's been. I mean, it's not like the Astros have been unbeatable during this streak.
No.
The Rangers have left so many people on base. And I mean, tagging Simeon on the batting glove sticking out of his pocket, talk about luck right there. That's what I'm saying. It hasn't been like clean, perfect baseball from the Astros, which is why I feel like the Rangers still have a shot in this series. But speaking of a shot, let's talk about Adolis Garcia getting hit in the middle of the back with a 96 mile an hour fastball. Here's what I think. I think Dusty did not call that, but I think the pitcher still did it on purpose on his own. I don't think he was told to do it. I think he did it on purpose.
And I'm pretty sure Maldonado had something to
called
do
it.
with it.
I think Maldonado called it.
I know after the game he said, I'm just trying to throw a fastball high and in. Look at where Maldonado is set up before that pitch.
Yep.
Right in the middle of the plate. If he was trying to,
he was not.
If it was a pitch call,
he knew where the pitch was going.
Mm-hmm. And how many people had Abreu hit throughout the year? The guy for a hard throwing reliever, for a hard throwing reliever like that, has really good control. Yeah. He was surprisingly a little sporadic last night, but he doesn't walk many. And
he didn't look surprised at all when it hit him. Like
Not at all.
He didn't show the signs of, oh man, that slipped out. He looked straight at him.
Yeah. So it was an odd situation. And again, credit Dusty Baker. I mean, it was stupid on their part, on Maldonado.
Well, I think he was just as mad at his players as he was at getting thrown out.
Yeah,
because I guarantee you, in the playoffs, down by 2 runs in pivotal game 5,
Dusty's not going to call.
As a manager, you do not call that.
Yeah, especially him. He's one of the greatest ever.
Correct.
As well.
You do not call that.
He's also one of the greatest ever at what he did after that. Like just
just
staying
smart,
out there, smart, ice up. Jose Leclerc. If Aroldis Chapman does his job in the 8th,
then Leclerc doesn't have to come in the 8th.
Leclerc doesn't have to come in until the 9th. So again, it's on the Rangers right there. It certainly is. And then again in the 9th, you got 2 runners on. Presley doesn't look his best. They don't take advantage of it. The Astros have taken advantage in every single game against the Rangers. Anytime the Rangers have slipped up, which in games 3 and games 4 was a lot. That's why the Astros ran away with it early. And then last night in clutch moments, the Rangers make a mistake. Jose Altuve, one of the greatest hitters of all time in playoff history, future Hall of Famer, goes out there and hits a 3-run homer. So
I think it's so unfortunate too, because you guys pretty much covered the fight, and it seems like yesterday just seems like one of those games where so much had to go right for the Astros to be able to even win. And sure enough, every single thing that needed to go their way bounced their way. And it's, it wasn't like that's why I think we're all sitting here in this mood, because it wasn't like games 3 and 4 where I would have rather lost yesterday 8-0.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, if those guys bounce back from that, I mean, it's going to be tough. But there's been times this year where I'm like, I'm still feeling it, and those guys go out there and they bounce back from it. So it's like, they're going to be ready. Bochy said that yesterday. I said that earlier. They're going to be ready, and you just move on from it. But right now it stings. You didn't lose the series, but it kind of feels like you did.
Thank God they have a day off to wash it away.
Yep.
Because if this was a turnaround game, go back. I'm sure, I don't know how much you remember about this, Kane, because you were a really little chap. But game 6 of the 2011 World Series, this feels so much like that. And then the Rangers
we don't talk about
game
that.
7. It didn't have much time to brush it off, and they looked flat. They just looked like defeated, and they got beat, and didn't, unable to win the World Series. But this time, maybe the Rangers can reverse the course in their own game 6. Maybe
if any team can do it, it's this team, because they are resilient.
Yeah. The other team that you could say the same thing about is the Houston Astros.
Correct.
Both of them could do this. Both.
That's why I still think either team can win this series, because both teams can have a bounce back. I mean, tomorrow could go, 2-1 into the 9th inning, and then Seager could hit a 3-run bomb to win the game, just like what Altuve did this time. Or it could be 10-8, somebody could win it. Or it could be 4-0. It just depends on which Eovaldi shows up, which Framber Valdez shows up. So let's talk about that game with Eovaldi on the mound and a day off in between. So our bullpen will be lined up the way it's supposed to be. I feel pretty decent about game 6.
I do. Yeah, I agree.
You have to. With how Evaldi's been pitching, you have to. And if you feel good about game 6, then if you can win game 6, game 7, what happened the rest of the series doesn't matter. It's all hands on deck. If you got a uniform on, then you could play, and you got to
your starting pitcher or whatever.
If you can win game 6, you have the momentum back again, and that's what they need.
Yeah, so, I think you got it. You don't feel great about where you're at, but to give up on this team, I think is downright stupid.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah. Hey, like you said earlier, how many teams are sitting on their couch watching the Rangers play right now?
Yep.
But there's still 2 more chances. You have 2 more chances. So you let your momentum and you let opportunities slip away from you in 3 games. Hey, you still got 2 more chances.
By the way, I just got to say this: the Rangers fans are contractually obligated to hear this every day, but Baltimore has a really bright future. I just wanted to make sure you guys remembered that the Orioles have a really bright future.
That John Smoltz must have called you and told you to get that in there, didn't he?
Yeah, I got an email saying that I had to get that into the podcast today because it has to be said every day.
Yeah.
Dude, okay. I don't want to go too off onto this, but the game calling has just been awful. I mean, in that game, was it game 2 where the Astros scored, or game 4, the second game in Arlington where the Astros scored 2 runs in the first inning?
Mm-hmm.
And Smoltzy actually said it's a shame they didn't score more going to the break. They hate. Why do they hate the rain? I don't understand.
I don't know.
Like with Tampa, with Baltimore, and with Houston, they just can't stand the Rangers.
Dude, when I hit that home run, I thought Joe Davis was going to die.
I did too. Yeah, I did too.
Me too. And then he said, as Altuve, when they showed the replay of Altuve rounding first, they said, look at him doing it as calm as can be, like he's done it before.
Yeah, they did say that.
And so that was a shot at Adolis. It just, anyways, I think we've bitched enough about that.
I think so too. So anyway, well, I just wanted to bring up the Baltimore thing because I find it hilarious. But anyway,
going back to game 6 real quick, Ben. Yeah, I feel confident with Eovaldi going. He's 3-0 right now. He's won each game he's pitched in the postseason. He's got a 2.29 ERA, 24 Ks to 1 walk. He's had a quality start in every single game he's pitched in the playoffs thus far. And then you got Framber Valdez, who's not had a very good postseason. He's 0-2 with 11.5, 7 ERA. If you can do that again, jump on them again, jump on Valdez, get to their bullpen. That's not only going to help relax Nathan Eovaldi, but if he does his job and does what he's been doing for the entirety of the playoffs, that's going to help the Rangers more by getting to the bullpen of the Astros, because they got to turn around and play the next day. They're not going to get any rest.
And like you said, it'll be all hands on deck. Game 7, Jordan Montgomery could pitch in Game 7 somewhere. Everybody would be on the table for Game 7. I mean, Austin Hedges could pitch somewhere in Game 7. You never know. So I mean, Game 7 is all hands on deck if you get there. And I think the Rangers have a more than good chance of getting to Game 7.
And luckily, and we'll get into Scherzer now. That's going to be your likely starter for Game 7.
Yeah.
So I know he didn't do very well in his first start back, but like we said, we'll hope for 4 innings. We really didn't know what we were going to get. He's a future Hall of Famer. It would not have shocked me at all if he came out on fire with 4 or 5 innings of shutout ball. But it's hard to expect anybody to do that coming off the IL since mid-September, I believe, is when he went on the IL.
Yeah,
mid or early, and just having it all come together just right. No, however, he was able to get some things that he can take with him into the next start, and he's going to be more built up pitch count wise, and he's going to be able to really set up the game plan to attack the Astros hitters a lot better, because he got, again, that opportunity. Yeah, in a losing situation in which he did go 4 innings, but he took the loss in that one. That second inning really got to him. but
Yep.
he's got a lot to take into his next start.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. And the pitch count. I don't think he's going to be on a count. I think it's a full go.
I think that's a good point because, before his first start, he said, he said he didn't even know what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
And now, obviously he knows what to expect. And it's like, I would think about it like this is like, if you do get to a game 7, it's like, you got to use all the guys that you can to get you 9 innings, right? Like Scherzer's on the table, obviously Dunning's on the table, Heaney's available, Bradford's available, assuming you don't use some games. Like, it's like, you just got to get some combination of 9 innings. That's what the playoffs is. That's why it's so different than the regular season. So it's like, I think you've got to be feeling at least half decent about where you're at, and certainly in no reason to give up. And if you want to give up, go look at the Dallas Cowboys right now, because that's what you're going to next. So I would be pretty happy.
They won the other night against the Chargers, but they didn't. It wasn't one of those wins where I'm like, all right, we're back on track. Nah, they didn't look. To me, it just looked bland. It was a bland football game.
All right,
but anyway,
after all these shoves, then you will be saying, all right, we're back.
Yep. All right, let's do final thoughts. Kane, I'll start with you. Final thoughts, game 6 and 7. Go ahead.
I like I said, I think you've got a good shot. You've got your guy on the mound game 6, sorry. And then once you get to game 7, like I said, it's all hands on deck. So you've got a fighting chance. That's all you can ask for. The Orioles, who have such a bright future, are in Cancun right now, right? Like they're not even playing. So you've got a good shot. You're facing the defending champs. They need 1 win at home. It's going to be good baseball. If you're not a baseball fan, tune in. I know DFW. I've been born and raised here, so I know y'all are going to come out. Y'all are going to support. People are going to
live is going to be lit.
Watch party's going to be popping. Everything. Texas Live's going to be popping. So I know people aren't giving up yet, and I think it's going to be exciting. It's a fun time to be a Ranger fan. You got to think this team wasn't even supposed to be here. So you got a fighting chance. That's all you can ask for.
All right, CJ, final thought, game 6 and 7. Hopefully game 7.
They've got, I feel like, again, I feel pretty good about game 6. I feel good about this going 7. I really do. My thing is, and this is going to probably hurt some people's feelings and piss some folks off and get them cussing, and probably they're never going to listen to us again, but I don't see the visiting team winning every game as a sustainable trend, unfortunately. Yes, the Rangers have a great chance with Scherzer going again in game 7, but that alone, that little nugget alone, with the winning team being the away team in each game, and if they get to game 7, it's going to have to happen again. And if they win game 7, it's going to have to happen again. I think that's got to be a record of the winning team not winning a single game in a game 7 series.
Yeah.
I don't see it as being sustainable. So I don't feel great about the Rangers winning odds in game 7, and I wouldn't be shocked to see the Astros win game 7 and go to another damn World Series.
Yeah, I also believe the Rangers have a great shot at game 6, but I think if they win game 6, they have all the momentum. So if Scherzer can be even just decent, he wasn't decent even last time. If he can be just decent, I think the Rangers are
all right.
He was all right. And he said himself that he would have pulled himself too. Yeah. He said Bochy made the right call because he just wasn't feeling it anymore. He wasn't hitting his spots, which was the big problem. But if he hits his spots, I think the Rangers have a fantastic chance in game 7.
If he pitches like he did in that first inning again, he was on. His velocity's there.
Yeah.
So it looks like there's no joking around. He's good to go.
So Rangers fans, what you should take away from this show today is don't give up. We have 2 games left.
Let's go.
We have one max left, or one minimum left if we don't do what they think they're going to do. But I think we have 2 left, and we have. The odds are just the same. And again, how cool would it be to own the record of winning a 7-game series without winning a home game? That would be amazing.
That would be awesome to do. And I hope they do it. Like I said, I am so emotionally invested in this team.
Oh, yeah.
And I know all 3 of us are.
Like I said, I turned my phone off for an hour after the game.
Yeah, last night I tried everything I could do to get my mind off of what I just saw.
Kane can attest to that because you texted me. It was about an hour until I texted you back, right?
Yeah,
I started playing video games that were not baseball games, just something to get my mind off of it. And but again, like we've all said, You got 2 more chances. Take care of the first one, and the emotions of these hopefully next 2 games, but damn sure game 6, the emotions of that stadium with the fans. There's a lot of Rangers fans that are going to be there too.
Yep.
But the emotions of the players and managers and coaches on both teams is going to be sky freaking high.
Yep. All right, guys. We will be back on after the series ends one way or the other.
Hopefully we're talking to y'all on Tuesday.
Yep. We're either talking about the World Series, which we'll talk about it either way, but about the Rangers in the World Series, or we start our off-season breakdown of the season, which, in honor of the Rangers, which we usually start in, mid-September. This year we're in late October and we still haven't started our breakdown of the season, which I love. And they have a bright future. Like Walton.
It's been a blast. it really has. It's been.
I mean, like I said, it hurts right now, but 2 weeks from now, I told Kane, 2 weeks from now, I'm going to look back and think, man, what a fantastic season overall.
This has been my favorite season of all time. I didn't experience 2010, 2011 when I was real little, but this has been my favorite season. I mean, just from the beginning, like everything, from dominating to the beginning of the season to the ups and downs, going to so many of the games. Like, this has been my favorite season of all time. Like, I've had a blast, and I know the fans have too, definitely.
Yeah, and again, Bochy said that this has been the weirdest season he's ever managed, and
it has been that.
And that's why I think winning Game 7 is possible, because how weird would that be? It's not likely at all. Mm-hmm. That's why it makes it, again, Bochy would be like, I don't know how we did that, just like he has with everything else. So,
and I don't know if Ben feels the same way. To me, this feels similar to 2010, but I think 2010 is my favorite season ever because
Game 6 against the Yankees, strike 3 called the Rangers to go into the World Series is my favorite moment of all time.
And them getting to the World Series, we thought, and everybody thought, in the year before that, they didn't expect to contend, and they had a winning season, and we were like, okay, to everybody, the scouts, the experts, blah, 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 thought they were a year away when they did go to the 2010 World Series. And that was just a wild ride when it went to a place we'd never gone before. And that win against Tampa Bay, when Cliff Lee went the distance and actually sent the Rangers to the ALCS was such a great feeling. And I hope to feel that again in Game 7 with the Rangers out on top.
Too.
I just don't. I'm not going to end it that way. Let's go Rangers, baby.
Let's go Rangers. All right, guys. See you on the next one.
All right. Thank y'all. Have a good one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Ranger Report podcast. Find us on Twitter, Facebook, and at therangerreport.com.